Get off my lawn. Don't turn around in my driveway. And don't drive slow if you're in the left lane. Scooby-Doo-bop-bop-a-deep-a-doop-bop-bop. Surrounded by brilliance. All right, welcome back to another episode of the Surrounded by Brilliance podcast. I'm your host, Josh Will. I'm going to fill you in on what this podcast is about in case you're a first-time listener. The Surrounded by Brilliance podcast was created by yours truly to bring together like-minded people, people who get offended by most things, people who are annoyed by most things, or actually it's people who don't get offended. I'm sorry. I'm trying a new little reading here, but it's people who don't get offended by much, people who are annoyed by a lot, and you're going to find some humor, levity, and some serious discussion here at this podcast, and it'll kind of give you a glimpse into my brain or the inner workings of my brain, and I'm a self-proclaimed get-off-my-lawn guy. Most of my guests have a little bit of get-off-my-lawn guy in them, if not a lot, so you'll hear some funny stories, some interesting opinions, quite a bit of grumpiness, and a whole lot more from some really interesting people and some not-so-interesting people. So my guest today is Derek Eby. Let me tell you a little bit about Derek. Derek's been married to his wife Heather for 17 years. They have two children, Tegan, who's 14, and Colton, 11. They also have two French bulldogs, Oreo and Thor. Interesting names. We're going to talk about that. They live in Clarkston, Michigan. Derek's been in the defense industry for 18 years, and he's currently a senior defense design engineer for Pratt Miller Defense. He works on combat vehicles and gets to work on some really cool stuff. Per Derek's bio, that's all he can share. Otherwise, he'd have to,
find a new job.
He'd have to kill us, right? Want something like that. So, outside of work, he and Heather's lives revolve around their children's athletic endeavors. Tegan plays soccer, for which Heather is a coach of the team. Colton plays football, travel baseball, travel soccer, and basketball, for which Derek is a coach of his travel baseball team and his flag football team. That is Derek Eby in a nutshell. There's way more about Derek, and we're going to find out. So how we doing, man?
Doing good. Been good. Just busy.
Yeah. Life, it's, I saw a quote the other day how they talk about when you're younger and the days just seem so longer. And so you think you have all this, it's relative because you're so young in your life, so everything seems so much longer. And then as you get older, time flies by because it's relative. And now here you are 40 years later, and the clock's ticking, so everything's going faster. So
yeah, those two kids don't help with that. Once you have that first kid, man, time was already fast after college, and then it seems like it just sped up 5 times quicker than what it was. It's crazy. You blink and she's 14 years old, and they're like, wait, didn't we just have her like a couple months ago?
Yeah, I mean, I remember those days, Grace's from 8th grade on volleyball, club volleyball, and then more club volleyball, and then more club volleyball, and then it went on forever. But we're past those days. So what's going on with you? What's new with Derek and the Eby family?
Well, the only thing really relatively new is the whole travel baseball thing. My son, he was only playing rec sports, and mainly because he plays 4 sports. I'm like, dude, you can't do travel, or you're only going to be playing 2 sports. And so I had told him like the end of last year, I said, hey, look, or the end of this last season, I said, hey, next year, 2026, you can try out for the Michigan Blackhawks travel baseball team, blah, blah, blah. Well, we just happened to be in there, at the batting cages, and the owner walks over and he's like, hey, who's he play for? And I'm like, yeah, he doesn't play for anyone. I'm like, he plays rec, blah, blah, blah. Too many sports. He's like, oh, okay. So he starts talking to me, and he's like, well, and I was like, I told him, I said, hey, I told him next season he can try out for you guys. And he's like, well, tryouts for next year are this Thursday. And it was Monday. And I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, well, I'll get on there and I'll get him registered and I'll get him in so we were talking for like an hour and a half, and I'm getting ready to leave, and he goes, "Hey, I got another little proposition for you." He goes, "Our 12U baseball coach, your son's, if he makes the team, his coach, actually just resigned this morning." He goes, and after talking to you, he goes, "I would actually be willing to offer you the position if you want it."
Wow.
So within, you know, an hour and a half, I went from, coaching rec baseball, rec football, flag football, rec basketball, and rec soccer to now coaching travel baseball, which is a whole lot different, whole lot more to do. I got to schedule. It's a lot of work. So
Yeah,
that's my new thing.
that is a big. Full disclosure, when you first started out with this conversation, I'm like, oh, well, so your kid joined another sport, but I didn't know that it was the whole travel thing. And yeah,
Yes.
and now you're the coach. So yeah,
Yeah.
you are just busy with that. Holy smokes! So is anything new? Like, tell me. Look, if you're just listening, this is the first time Derek and I have probably talked in maybe 20 years. I mean,
Oh, it's been
that
what,
seems to be the
21
theme
years.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
and you'll find out more about Derek in a second. I want to leave the cat out of the bag. I'll just ask the question now, I guess. Derek, how do we know each other?
Well, man, that was 25 years ago. I walked onto campus in 2000 and decided to walk on to the football team. And that's when I met the defense. I met That's when I met everyone, right? Like I wasn't recruited. I didn't know anyone from the recruits, so I was like, you know what? I really would love to play, football. So I'm just gonna walk on and see what happens. And yes, and then obviously, the next couple years were were great years.
Yeah,
But, yeah, walked on in 2000, and here we are, 25 years later.
because that was your freshman year, right? Like you
Yeah.
were, yeah. 'Cause you lose track of time. Like I was like, yeah, Derek was a year behind me. But my memory these days, I don't ever. I'm not like, yeah, I don't know, because it's been so long. But
Well,
so yeah,
and
Derek's another Thunder guy. He's a TSU Thunder.
yep.
So
Well, and the other thing with that too. So when I came in 2000, that first year, Coach Carlson and Coach Nemeth, they redshirted me. So I wasn't. I was able to practice, but I was only on the. I was on the practice squad for against the offense, or
yeah.
yeah, against the offense. Yeah. So I never really got to practice with any of the first, second teamers. I was over in the practice squad. So uh,
I don't even see that. That's the cool part about not just reconnecting, but I don't remember that. I don't
yeah.
remember that you were redshirted. Like,
Yep.
huh?
Well, and I bring that up
Interesting.
because I remember when I was watching the one that Hensel was on. I know
Yeah.
you guys were talking about. I don't remember if he was. Yeah, I was only a year behind you, but football wise, I ended up being 2 years behind you. So
We're gonna bring up that Hensel interview a little later. I've got some questions for you. So, so that's how Derek and I know each other. He's yet another defensive guy. We've yet to have an offensive guy. You know, People listening to this are probably like, boy, this is just literally becoming a tri-state university reconnection podcast. That's not what it is, but it's awesome reconnecting with all these
yes,
guys, right? Because quite frankly, these are the guys who have the balls to come on here and talk. I mean, that's all it is a conversation amongst friends. I've got I've got lifelong buddies who I've known since I was in grade school and still spend I'm still like best friends with them, and they are chicken shits and don't have. They're like, I don't want to go on because my boss might see something or what. I'm like, yeah, dude. Like 100 people watch this podcast. It's not,
your
and
boss
nothing.
probably isn't one of them.
Yeah, yeah, and nobody, and we're not saying things that are going to get you in trouble. If anyone actually watches this podcast from beginning to end, they're gonna be like, oh, it's just some dudes having fun, catching up, dudes or gals. I have women on, so I appreciate you having a willingness to come on here. I guess it just shows that you, along with the other TSU guys, they're like, yeah, let's do this. They got the balls to
Absolutely.
do it. So
Oh, yeah, no, I wouldn't have. I couldn't turn it down. I've been watching basically every single one of them, and it's been awesome. It really has been. Like every person sparks something back there, that I hadn't thought of, and it's like, it's like it takes you back, and you get the chills all over again. It's like listening to, you hear the Thunderstruck, and I get the chills every time I listen to that still. But like every time I watch, you and one of the other guys, I'm just like, holy crap! It takes me back. It makes me think I'm 20 years old again and getting ready to go
Um,
out to
well,
practice again.
speaking of that, I mean, if you saw the podcast with Chrisman and I, this idea that Steck seems to think the NCAA is going to do the fifth year of eligibility. The Look, I don't know. I wouldn't call it naivety. I would just say it's just way too. I would call it more irrational. But I honestly think this is going to sound so stupid coming out of my mouth. I do think that if they said we're gonna go back 30 years, like they'll put a cutoff on it. We'll say anyone
Yeah.
30 years, you can have a fifth year if you didn't use it. I truly believe that if like that core group of guys like was able to get into good enough shape
Yeah.
that, or first of all, that's probably irrational thinking we could all get into good enough shape. But we know so much more up here now than we did back then when it comes to like health and fitness, right? I mean, it would
Oh, absolutely.
take a lead up, but I'm like, we could totally do this, and we would show these young kids what the blank is up.
Oh,
So I
man.
think that could happen.
Yeah,
Now,
no, I did watch it, and I completely agree with what you guys are saying. There would be no one on the field after the first series because we would all be ejected. We would all be out of the game. There would be none of us
yeah,
left. That's all we. I mean, at least I know for me, like that was my big thing. I wanted to hit someone. I wanted to kill them. Like not literally kill them, but I mean, I wanted to hit them so hard that they never came back again. I'm not running a post route again,
yeah.
or and hey, yeah,
Well,
there were some times when we led with the head, and you know,
sometimes that's I yeah.
I mean, yeah, or we would hit from here up, not from here down. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, yeah, one
Well,
I would probably only last like two plays anyway. So
I don't even know if we make it to the games because I think that we'd probably have to have like 2 weeks straight of just tackling practice.
heck yeah,
Like okay, here's how you have to tackle now in
yep.
2025.
Here's the new
And
rules.
and
Yep.
every day we'd just like you would just it constantly you'd hear so many F bombs because guys are like, I'm just doing it the way I know how. Well, that's not how you do
Yep.
it anymore. You
Our
can't do it that way.
instinct is so built in at this point. I'm not sure we could get rid of it. It doesn't matter if we had 2 weeks.
Like you don't understand. If I hit him this way, it's really gonna hurt him, and he's not gonna want to run a slant again, right? He's not
Exactly.
want to go across the middle.
He's not going to come across that middle. Oh yeah. Oh,
So Chrisman, Hensel, and Brandon Hain and I all went to the. Who did they play? They played it was 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks. I can't remember the game. They played
their
Alma.
the last game.
No, the two. It was the Alma game.
Okay.
And it was fun. We tailgated. We got there early. We tailgated. We had some fun and shot the shit. But it was good. And then Steck was talking about so next year they want to bring back the team that won the first conference championship, it'll be 25 years since we won that one. So I guess they're planning something like that. So,
Cool.
but
No,
yeah,
yeah, we made it back for homecoming this year. Um,
okay.
Tailgated, didn't see anyone. Walked around. Oh my god, that place is crazy. But walked around looking for people. Didn't see anyone. But my wife and all the soccer players, all her soccer teammates were there. So we stayed in a house out on Crooked Lake, and
Nice.
yeah. So that was our first time back since, yeah, that was our first time walking the campus since probably 2007. So
That was the first time I had been back to a game since I left.
yeah.
So
Yep.
I'd driven through campus like, hey, because I go to Ohio quite a bit, and I would always go that way, and so I would stop and just drive through it occasionally. Like I think not even a handful, a couple times over the years, but I never went to a game. Now last year, Brandon Hain and I went to a couple away games, Like we went to the Kalamazoo Shrine game because that's 20 minutes for me. We went down to Ohio and went to the Bluffton Shrine game, which is 5 minutes for him. But so yeah,
Yeah.
Derek, why did you agree to be on this podcast? Such a silly, ridiculous podcast. Why would you agree to be that?
I mean, it's gonna be a lot to the same as everyone else, right? Like, one, I hadn't talked to you since 2000 and man, what 2002? No, 2002,
Three,
2003.
2002,
Yeah,
2003.
2003. Like, it's been 22 years.
In a minute.
Reconnect, and support you, man. I mean,
Oh,
we, no, really, like, I know a lot of people. Coach Carlson said the same thing, like Coach Nemeth, but like, any way I can help you out, heck yeah, man, I'll go for it. I'll help you out. I mean, yeah, even though it's been 22 years, man, we bled together, man. We blood, sweat, and tears, all that together for
yeah.
3 years. So, you go through that for 3 years. You tend to stay connected some way, whether it's talking all the time or going 22 years and then talking to you and feeling like, oh, here we are back in 2003 again.
Being able to catch up. Yeah, no. Well, I appreciate you having willingness to come on here. It's just been fun. It's been cool to reconnect, and I say that every time I have a new guest on here, and so people might be sick of me saying it, but I don't give a shit because it's my podcast and it's the truth. So there we go. So you hear on this podcast because you listen to it, you hear the phrase "get off my lawn" a lot. And you know that here in a second, we're going to talk about specific scenarios. But before we get there, what does that phrase in and of itself mean to you? When you hear the phrase, get off my lawn, what does that mean to Derek Eby?
Oh, people not like just not having respect for others. Like even the smallest amount of respect, like, just little things, or just plain stupidity. Those are the two things that just drive
Yeah.
me bonkers. So
Yeah.
that's exactly what it is to me when I hear that.
I think it's a great description. Everyone has their own unique description of what that phrase means to them. But at its core, no matter if someone's here, or here, whatever they're saying, there's a lot of core fundamentals. And at the end of the day, it's just people do stupid shit that annoys you. And so in your mind, you've become this, like, I'm a get off my lawn guy, gal, whatever. But really, you're not. You're just someone who gets annoyed by people doing stupid things, which is why get off my lawn guys and gals get a bad rap. But really, I think we're ahead of the game because we have
Oh
a
yeah.
willingness to say it. So,
Yep.
so, so you know the drill, Derek. This is where I'm going to ask you about a specific get off my lawn scenario, something that you're going to share with us today, something that frustrates you or annoys you or whatever foundation, however it affects you. So go ahead and share with me what your get off my lawn moment is today.
Yeah. Well, so my get off my lawn moment really comes back to, so I have two dogs, and I take my dogs out, and when they go and they do their things, I clean up right after them because I can't stand mowing and just running over everything. It just, no, I just can't take it. So I go out there and I clean up after them, whatnot. Well, it never fails in the summer. I'll be walking upstairs. We have 2 stories and a big window that I can see straight out to the front. And if I'm walking across it at the right time in the morning, I see someone walking their dog. My dogs don't go in the front yard. They don't go in the front yard, only in the backyard. And they walk their dog right into my lawn, and they just let him take a dump. And they don't pick up anything. And I'm like, are you freaking... I clean up after my dogs, and I don't allow my dogs to go out front. And you bring your dog to my yard, do their thing, and then just walk away like it's no big deal. And uh, I'm not a confrontational person, so I wouldn't go outside and yell at them. But in the inside here, I'm yelling. I'm screaming like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, have some respect for for my property. I don't bring my dog to yours. Don't bring your dog to mine. But when I first started watching, it was going on like every day, and thankfully those people have since moved, so they're not in the neighborhood anymore. And I'm just like, now I just fight with my neighbor across the street. Their dog's on a shot collar, and he walks right through it, comes over into the yard in the front yard, and I'll find his all over the front yard, and I'm just like, oh my god, how do I go over there and tell them, come clean up after your dog?
Look, I have a couple follow up questions, and I want to, and I like, but before I get asked those follow up questions, you know the drill. So that's what frustrates you about it. Now, what positive, if any, can you take from this? Right? It can, like, there's got to be some type of positive you can spin on this. So
They're getting
go ahead and spin.
exercise.
Okay.
You know, they're walking or they're jogging, so they're getting exercise. That good for them for that, but come on.
All right. Look, the positive isn't always going to be solid, but at least it's a positive that you found. I mean, it's a stretch, but you're finding a
Yeah.
positive. I appreciate it. Now, I have questions. Well, first off, you truly are like you are a get off my lawn guy because um, one, I'm sitting here watching as just as you're telling it, I saw like the controlled rage coming out in you. I could see like this, like you didn't just make this up for the podcast. You're like this infuriates you,
Oh,
right?
dude.
So I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
okay, that's good, but you can control it. Like you said, I'm not gonna go confront someone for letting their dog do their business in my front yard, but in my head it just reinforces why are you doing that, right? Which is kind of a get off my lawn act. The
Yeah.
second thing is, oh, go ahead. Go
I was
ahead.
gonna say, so the funny part about that is, so I spray the front yard, right? I spray the front and the backyard, and we've got little signs, when we spray, so people know, hey, don't let your dogs on here. So I just leave those signs out all the time, and I'm like, I don't know if it works or not, but like I haven't seen anyone, and again, like I said, they moved out, so maybe they're gone. But I'm like, when it does get sprayed, I just leave them out there, and I'm like, you know what? This is a good. Hopefully, it's a deterrent.
Well, the other thing I wanted to say was it was more of an observation. Uh, are you a guy who like takes his keeping his grass green and mowing his yard seriously? Are you that guy?
I I am.
It's okay to
I
be that
have
guy.
been.
I'm that guy too. It's
Oh,
okay.
oh no. I wish my yard was like my front yard is like perfect. My backyard, it's a struggle because there's so much tree cover, and
Yeah.
it's a lot of work to keep the back, fully grass, all that good stuff. But yeah, the front yard, like I like to keep it cut. I like it to look nice. I like, there's no leaves,
Yeah.
and again, I like to get on my mower, and I like to just go. I don't want to have to sit there and look and be like, all right, am I going to run over something that's just going to really piss me off, or you know? But I have to do that now, and I'm like, what? Come on, I shouldn't have to be looking. It's my yard. I should know.
I love
It's
it.
a quarter acre.
I'm
It's
going to
small.
ask you more about the neighbor that you are beefing with later, but I'm gonna we'll do it after this segment. I'm gonna share my get off my lawn. So, my goal is always to not have a repeat. I still have not had a repeat because stuff just keeps accumulating on this list that I've been creating for years. So this one, I don't know, it might seem very niche and specific, but I think if when you and other people hear it, you're probably going to be able to relate to it. So you know how when you go to the gas station, I'm going to call this gas station etiquette, right? So I'm going to talk about two things specifically. So I'm going to the gas station. I pull in and I pick this lane to go to. There's two pumps. Pump up here is available, and then the pump nearest to me is available. Which pump should I go to, Derek?
Well, you should follow in, and if they both go,
They're
then
both
you go
open.
to the front one, right? So
You,
then you
you,
go to the front one.
you go to the furthest one, and you
Yes.
do that because that way now, if someone else comes in behind you, they can just pull up behind you at that pump instead of now they have to go around, do this, do that. it flows better. That's why it's
Yes,
designed that way. So
absolutely.
the first thing is people that don't do that, right? They don't. All the pumps are open and they stop at the first one, right? You
Yes.
screw up the flow for everyone. You
Yep.
like you shouldn't be allowed to pump gas. That's the first thing. The second thing is people who, and I don't see this as much, but I saw it a couple weeks ago. That guy who has to leave his car running while pumping gas, right? He
No.
he leaves the car running so he can, and he's also the guy. He's like checking this, doing that, pumping the gas. The car's still running. He's in such a hurry. Okay, don't be that guy. So,
No. Nope.
so, so two things: pull forward if it's available. Understand your gas station etiquette. Second thing, don't leave your car running.
Turn it
Now,
off.
the positive in all this would be,
It's a tough one.
yeah, it's definitely a tough one. I I think this seems to be a lot of positives for me, or my go to for positives when I can't really make some positive. It is a good test of patience for me. It's a good. Okay, Josh, that annoys you, but are you really gonna let it affect the next 5, 10 minutes, hour of your day? Well, no, I'm not. But you know what? I'm gonna talk about it on this podcast because it's annoying, and I'm sure there are people that will relate to it. So I would say it's a good point of reflection to just be patient and understand that while I'm not the smartest guy in the room, there are way dumber people out there. Maybe I don't know.
Absolutely.
So that's kind of like a backhanded positive, but so
Yeah. No, it's like all the gas stations need to be. They need to have someone like at Sam's Club. They're like, you go here,
pull
go.
up,
You go
pull up,
here and go up. Just
pull up.
because, yeah, no, yeah, it drives me nuts.
Well,
No, yeah, it
it's a
throws it,
simple
and
look.
then
It's a simple thing, but it. And again, if you're listening to this and you've never thought of that before, but now you're probably like, you know what? That does make sense, and that would be annoying. So, yeah.
yep.
So
Well,
that's
and
uh, that's the get off my lawn stuff for this episode. So let's go back to. Sounds like you're beefing with another neighbor. Is it just because his dog comes over and goes in your yard, or is there other beef?
no, 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 no. There's no beef with them. It's just their dog just. I mean, I'll be at work and I got cameras in the backyard. I got cameras in the front yard. Well, the backyard camera will go off, and I'll be like, all right, is the wife taking the dogs out? And then I'm like, I look at the quick, video snippet, and I'm like, I don't have a white dog. And I'm like, you gotta be flipping kidding me. I get on there, and it's the neighbor's dog from across the street. He's all the way in the backyard, and I'm like, dude's back there. Come on.
He's doing his business.
Yeah,
Okay.
doing his business in my backyard. I'm like, God, man,
All
like,
right.
yeah, no, but no beef with them. It's
No
just,
beef.
yeah,
Derek is afraid that his neighbor is one of the guys who actually watches this
no,
podcast. So he's playing it cool. Derek's neighbor, if you're watching this, we're watching you.
we
Okay?
are.
Stop letting your dog shit in Derek's yard.
That's
Okay?
why I got cameras.
Cameras are in, man. Look, I've got
Hey,
cameras too. I used to have buddies giving me crap about it, and now they're like, this isn't a bad idea. I'm like, yeah. And I work from home. So,
yeah.
but they're like, you work from home. I go, yeah, but I'm not always home. I go places. So,
Oh yeah. No,
anyways.
I work from home 2 to 3 days out of the week, and my wife works from home 100% of the time. She has her own business out of the house, so she's always home. But like just you just never know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd rather have cameras. We had an incident that happened that drove us to the cameras. So, and we're still not sure
Oh,
what the heck happened. Yeah, my wife was actually, she's a therapist, so she was actually in a session in her office upstairs, and our two dogs like literally go crazy if the door opens or if someone knocks. Like they fight each other, like they're gonna like who's gonna kill each other first to get to the door.
right.
And they just started going crazy one day when I was at work, and she's like, I thought it was you, so I came out like 25 minutes later, and she goes, and in between this time, she heard the door open and close. And she said she thought it was me, so when she came out of the office and I wasn't sitting at the table, because I was still at work, she's like, what the heck happened? What was going on? How did that door open and close? Well, the garage door was unlocked. And we
Oh,
don't know if someone had come in and the dog scared them or what, but that day I was like, all right, it's
whew.
camera. We're getting cameras. I'm like,
See, I was on the cutting edge of cameras. I've had them for like I've had the camera so long that I don't have to pay for the subscription. If that's it, I've been grandfathered in. But all right, so now we're gonna do what I like to call some rapid, not so rapid fire questions. Right. So this is some of these are gonna be you're gonna involve a little bit of thinking. Some of them are just gonna be fun. And you've listened or watched the podcast, so you know. So, Derek, what's a fun fact about you that most people wouldn't know?
I'm gonna go back to school. So I'm not sure a whole lot of people knew that I went to Tri-State on a baseball scholarship. And yeah, so I when I walked onto the football team, um, I was a scholarship baseball athlete, and Coach Carlson and he actually called me up to his office. And honestly, at the time, I thought, "Shit, I'm getting cut from the team," because this was like 2 weeks in, just in the middle of our 3 days. And I'm like, "Crap, man, I'm not making the team." I'm like, "This is bad." So I walk in, and Coach Nemeth's there, and they sit me down, and Coach Carlson goes, "Well, I see that you're come to Tri-State on a baseball scholarship." I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, sorry to tell you, but no one on this team plays two sports except for one person, and that's
Craig
Craig
Neville.
Nevels." Yep. He goes, "So if you want to play football, you need to choose football or baseball. If you want to he goes, if you want to play baseball, that's fine. Then choose baseball." He goes, "But if you want to play football, we want you only playing football." And I looked at him and I said, "Done. I'll play football only." So I threw away my scholarship for no scholarship.
Oh yowza! Didn't
Yeah,
call the parents about that one. Just made the decision, huh?
didn't yeah. It was a rapid right then. Absolutely, I'm like, I'm playing football, and it wasn't a couple minutes after that's when Coach Nemeth and Coach Carlson both were like, "Hey, look, we want to redshirt you this year. There's no way you're going to play anyways." One because of Otto and Jason and Josh. We've got but we want to redshirt you. And I was like, oh, and that's it got me thinking like, oh, that's why they wanted me to solely focus on footballs. They were gonna if they're gonna redshirt me for a year, they don't want me getting hurt in baseball, or I guess I don't know, maybe that
Yeah.
wasn't it.
What position did you play? Hold on, I'm gonna try and guess this. Didn't you play catcher?
No, well, I
Pitcher.
mean,
You were a
I
pitcher then.
no, I was center
No.
field.
Oh.
Yeah, center
So
fielder.
so had you quit baseball you hadn't quit baseball yet then obviously. You were just gonna try to do so you then had to go have a conversation with the baseball coach?
Yes. So then I had to go. At the time, I think the head coach was.
Maybe begin with a G.
He ended up becoming the an assistant, one of the assistants on the football team. But gosh darn it, I can't remember his name. I can't think of it off the top of my head right now. But he was actually also. So I was a design engineer at Tri-State, and he was actually in my program. He was one of the teachers. I think he was like the head of maybe even the head of the department.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I had to go and tell him thank you for the scholarship that I am not going to be using. Yeah, it was and then obviously like you said, then after that I had to call my parents and be like, "Hey, guess what? I made the football team, but I can't play baseball."
Yeah.
And I lost my baseball scholarship.
Well,
So,
the Thunder football team was glad you made that decision. And if I were a betting man, or at least I hope that you went back in the coming years and were able to get some type of scholarship from Coach Carlson.
so yeah, yep, he did. No, he
Yeah,
ended up after I think it was after 2001. He gave me a scholarship after
yeah,
that. So it was yeah.
yeah. You deserved it.
I would do it over again without the scholarship,
Oh yeah,
and I would have chose to do it without it. Obviously, I chose to do it without it then. So I didn't know money. Money didn't matter to me at the time. So
right. No, yeah. All right, Derek. You've heard this one before. So if we could rewind to when you were 20 years old and I told you you had to either give up your looks or your sense of humor for the rest of your life, which one would you choose to give up and why?
Yeah, absolutely. I've never had looks from as far as I know. So that's, you can take that all day. Yeah,
All
I'll
right.
keep the little sense of humor I have over any kind of looks.
It's a common answer here. I think it's the only right answer, but we've had
Okay.
some controversial answers. Coach Carlson,
Yep. Yep.
you heard him.
Yep.
He said at that point in his time at that time in his life he was a little vain, and a fan of his looks, and so he was honest, and we appreciate that. We appreciate you, Coach Carlson, if you're listening,
Yes.
which I know you are.
Absolutely.
So, all right, here we go. So, what are you for? You 43, 44?
43. I turned 44 in February. Yep.
Okay. All right. So what's one thing 43-year-old Derek would tell his 22-year-old self if you could go back and tell that younger version of you?
Slow down. Enjoy time as it is. I mean, I can remember back going, oh man, I just can't wait until this time comes, and I next year, come on, let's hurry up, let's get here. Especially
Yeah.
in 2000 being redshirt, I was like, all right, I can't wait till 2001. In 2001, we had such a great year. I'm like, all right, I can't wait till come on, you just want time to fly, and now I'm just like, man, slow down, smell the roses, enjoy every second, because it goes by way too quick. So yeah.
It does. Yeah, the blink of an eye. It truly does happen fast. So, so this is a question that I don't I know I asked Otto. I'm not sure if I asked Kyle. I think I just started asking this. I come up with different questions. So, Derek, if you could go back and you could change the outcome of 2 to 3 specific plays in your college career, what would those plays be, and how would you change them?
Oh, I'd go back, and the first one that comes to my mind, 2002 Malone. I dropped what would have been my fourth interception of the game,
Oh,
and I would have went back and redone that one, so I could still be at the lone top of the list for most
okay,
interceptions in a game.
okay.
That would be one. Trying to think of a couple others. Oh yeah. Oh, I don't remember who we were playing. It was in 2001. It was that year. We were. It might have been. It might have been Walsh, because I think we played Walsh at Walsh, and Coach Nemeth, who was in '01, who played. All right, so who were the two teams that played at the Pro Football Hall of Fame?
Yeah,
It was
so it's Walsh and Malone.
Walsh and Malone. Okay, so I think yeah. So it was Walsh in '01. Coach Nemeth for the first time calls a blitz for me, and I will never forget this because it was the only time he blitzed me. I blitzed off the left side, and all I saw was quarterback. And when we blitz in our defense, if the running back peels out, you have to peel off with him. Well, my eyes only saw the quarterback. And I thought, oh, I'm going to smoke. I'm about to get my first sack. This is awesome. He literally turns right before I got there, and I just see the ball go right over my head. And I went, oh, shit, the running back. And I turn around, and I'm just running. Obviously, we end up tackling 20 yards down the field, and Nemeth is screaming at me. And I'm like, I know. And he's like, you're supposed to peel off. I know. You are never going to blitz again. I'm never blitzing you again. And I'm like, no, come on, give me one more chance. And he's like, get me the ball back. And we end up intercepting like 2 plays later. And I'm like, we got the ball back. Can I blitz again? And he's like, absolutely not. And I'm like, no, I lost my only chance.
Oh, dude. Well, so if you're following along at home, Derek has picked 2 plays, individual plays for him. He nothing team related. Doesn't want to go back and change the outcome of a game and maybe advance further in the playoffs. Doesn't want to make it
Oh,
to the playoffs that next year. Derek just wants to Change place for his stats if you're following along at home.
Oh no, I would give anything for us
I'm
to.
just joking.
No, I like I watching the last couple. You know, you talk about that Georgetown game, and I believe you're absolutely right. Like, if we hadn't drawn them or drew them first game of the playoffs, I think we would have. I mean, you got to think in that game we were down 28-7 at halftime,
Yeah.
and at one point in the third, I think it was the third quarter, we were down
Just a
28
touchdown,
to,
weren't we?
we were down 28-21. Actually, it was in the fourth quarter. We were down 28-21, and we had just gotten the ball back, and I think we threw a pick. I think it was a pick six, and we went back out and we stopped them again, and the offense came back out. I think they ended up going 4 and out, and then they had a short field, you know, and scored again on us, and you know that was 42-21. But in that, I think if I remember right, it was either in the fourth quarter or the end of the third quarter. We were only down 7 points in that game, and I mean we played the worst first half we had played all year. Yeah, I think if we wouldn't have drew them first game, I think we would have beat them. I think we would have got on a run, and I think we would have at least played them. It would have been a lot closer.
Yeah. I still believe that to this day. Like if not, I mean, again, it's all speculation, but
Oh, yeah.
we were firing on all cylinders, but we had never, that group of guys had never played in a playoff game, right?
Nope.
No. Yeah. So it was, so I think had we gotten a better, well, and I say a better draw, but it's because of where we landed in the rankings, right? So ultimately, if we win another game that year,
Yeah.
if we don't, we lost to Malone.
Walsh.
We lost to Malone that year, right?
No, we
Well,
lost
like,
to Walsh.
Walsh. We don't lose that Walsh game.
Yep.
Like, then, you know.
Well,
So
first
it
of all,
doesn't matter.
yeah. Well, you got to think. So Walsh doesn't get into the playoffs. St. Francis doesn't get into the playoffs. All because we lost that Walsh game. Because we lost to Walsh, we beat St. Francis. St. Francis beat Walsh, but lost to us. So it was a 3-way tie for freaking first place, and all three of us get in, and we got the freaking short end of the stick against number one.
So,
Yeah.
but So all right, those are Derek's 3 changes.
Yeah.
And I hopefully I didn't pressure you into that last one, but
No, I do that. No, I thought about that game for so long. For so long, that game just. I don't think we hadn't seen an offense like that. I mean, St. Francis. Now, don't get me wrong, St. Francis offense was phenomenal, but we hadn't seen. We hadn't played an offense that just tore us apart between the linebackers and the safeties.
yeah,
And they stretched us deep and then just kept, everything kept going right over. And our linebackers weren't used to that. I mean, again, that was the only game I've ever seen, Ike and Crispin passing wise, tore up. And we got tore up, right? I mean, it was just,
well, their quarterback was, their receivers and their quarterback they could have been playing at a higher level collegiately, right? Yep. So, and I love that you were just giving some props. You were just giving some pass coverage props to Kyle Chrisman and Ike Sturgis. There's probably a lot of people that listen to this podcast that would say you're a little nuts, Derek, because Kyle and Isaac will probably be the first ones to tell you, yeah, we're there to stop the run. We don't give a shit about the pass, right?
Yep.
Now I will tell you. I know that Kyle Crispin, because he had the speed. He when he wanted to do it, and I know you're going to listen to this, Kyle. You were pretty good linebacker, pass coverage wise. Ike would tell you he was good at it, but then you'd watch the film and be like, yeah, come on, Ike, right? But
yep.
I don't think Ike listens to this, so I'm cool. I'm okay there.
I mean, really, you look back and like no one really hit on, 15-yarders on us all. Like, yeah, you're going to get a couple of them a game, right? Like, it's going to happen, or more than a couple. But that Georgetown team, it was that first half. That's all they were doing. They were killing us between 15 and 20 yards.
Yeah.
But they were also running us to where we had. Obviously, we weren't going to get beat deep, so you got to give up underneath, and it was just play action, freaking right over the top all first half, and then it was just like, I don't know what changed in that second half, but like we didn't give in that second half. So, but
I think there was some shock too because we and Steck talked about this. Steck still knows stats from back then. I think that we only get the number of touchdown passes that we gave up that year I think it was under 5, maybe even less than 4 touchdown passes. So we did we were solid isn't even the right description.
No.
We had studs up front on
Yep.
the D line. We had studs at linebacker, and we were we were pretty damn good backfield too. So
Oh yeah.
it's like you start getting torn up by these guys, and you're like, Jesus, what is happening? Why? How can we not stop this? So,
Yep. Oh yeah.
all right, Derek. So Eric Hensel was on this podcast before, and we were talking about a lot of players, some uniqueness, and Eric brought up how, and I didn't remember this until he brought up how you would just show up to practice, pads on, no shirt on underneath, just bare
No.
skin with
Yep.
a big old fat dip in, and you're like, yeah, and you just be like, yeah, let's start hitting, and Hensel's like, yeah, I don't think he ever wore his mouth guard, and so then we elaborated on it and talked about, well, maybe he didn't wear the mouth guard and had the dip in because it was motivation to hit the other guys, to be the hammer, not the nail, so that he didn't accidentally swallow the chew spit. So here's your chance for clarification on that whole thing. Floor's yours.
Absolutely, it was all stupidity. Like I completely forgot about that until Hensel brought that up. I'm like, damn, I remember that. You're right. I'm like, oh, I even had my can in my pants. And I'm like, what the hell was I thinking? Like, really? You couldn't go 2 hours without a dip? I have no clue what my thought process was then.
Oh, okay.
So we're just gonna say it was just plain stupidity.
Well, you know what? We spun it. We spun it for you. It was your extra motivation to go out, practice hard, and not do anything. Again, be the hammer, not the nail.
Exactly.
So that because if you messed up or made a mistake and accidentally swallowed a little chew juice,
Yeah, no
you'd be
kidding.
like, "All
No,
right, I messed up that play. Back to it."
don't do that again. Yeah, we'll say it was that.
All right. So the last question. Well, it's not really a question. I'm just going to ask you to pontificate a little bit. There we go. I got that word in. I always try to get it in every podcast. So just share some of your favorite memories from your on the field, off the field at Tri-State. I'm going to make it twofold actually. So share some of your favorite memories, and because you might have been expecting this, but I don't always ask it. But then guys are like, well, hey, aren't you going to ask me this? And then start naming off, put together your Tri-State,
Man,
all-star defense from the period that you were there, right? We know there's guys that were before you and I that were studs, but the period that you were there. So the first part of the question, name some memories. Second part, put together your all-star defense, and you don't have to get all 11 guys, but just start naming some names off. So go ahead.
yeah. So I would that Mike Newbill 3rd and 20. Everyone knew it was a draw. Everyone knew it was either a draw or a screen against St. Francis. Like that play has always, I can never forget that, because he broke that out to the off to the right hand side, which was St. Francis's side, and just 80 whatever it was, 85 90 yards for a touchdown. It was just that blew that game wide open. It came after one of our coaches had a 15-yard
Coach Lang.
Yeah, Coach Lang had a 15-yard penalty, and Carlston was pissed, and everyone was pissed. Like, what the
Yep.
hell? You're putting us in a bad position. And then Mike Newbill just I mean, good God, how fast that kid was! It was crazy speed. Same game, same game. I don't remember if it was your first interception. I think it was the second one. I was guarding the tight end, and I was in perfect position.
I remember.
And that ball is coming, and I'm like, yes, here's my pick against St. Francis. And you came right in front, and I'm like, no! And I'm like, no, yes!
Yeah.
Like, yes, that's us. No, I could have had a pick.
Yeah.
Like, and I even remember after we went off the field, I'm like, Josh, you right in front of me, you stole that pick, and you're like, you should have been in better position. I'm like, what the hell?
It's funny. I remember that. It was, I remember I had I had a better angle, right? And I was coming, and I was literally, it's like you see in the movies. I just literally came like right in front of you.
Yes.
But yeah,
it was perfect, man. It really it was.
Yeah.
You made the right read.
Yes.
I was in the right position, but it was like, hey, I mean, we were, again, that game we were on.
Oh gosh, yeah. I've said this multiple times in this podcast. That's the best game I've ever played, not just statistically, but like, fundamentally being in the right place, if I were to look at that game for myself and say, and like evaluate it, I would just be like, all A's. Like, you didn't make the only mistake you did make, Josh, is you could have had a third pick, but you dropped it. But
Yeah.
anyways,
Yep.
So you got any more memories, or are you going to start telling us about your defense?
Oh man. The other, this was kind of a funny one. It was our 2002 at Albion. I think no, that was home. So it was 2001 at Albion. It might have been like one of their first couple plays. You were free, and I think I was manned up, or I was in the flats, one or the other. Well, they handed the ball off to the running back, and I took one step forward, and I saw the running back stop, and I went, shit, flea flicker. And I turn around, and you are full bore downhill, like you are coming down hard, and I'm like, shit, that guy is wide open down the middle. So I just start, I mean, not that I was fast, but I mean, as fast as I could, trying to catch this dude. Well, they launched the ball, and little did I know that it was underthrown. This dude stops, and I truck him. And, pass interference, 15 yards, but it's like, Coach Nema's like, we'll take that all day. There's no touchdown. We don't give a crap. And you were like, my bad.
Oh yeah, I remember that game too. Not one of my best.
Now, like, I saw a run, and I'm like, everyone saw a run. It was that damn flea flicker, and but no, that one I laugh about, because it was just funny. And then I got yelled at by Steck once, not once, more than once, but in that Malone game in 2002, there was another ball that I broke on the sideline, and I had got a hand on it. Again, I had multiple interceptions, so I was trying to get that, another interception, and I couldn't get to it and barely got hands on it. And I get up, and Steck's like, what the hell are you doing? I was right there, and I would have had the pick easy, dude. And you had to come diving in from 5 yards, and I'm like, oh, shit. I'm like, I really just messed that up, didn't I? And he's like, dude, slow down a little bit. And I don't remember exactly what he said, but I just remember getting yelled at by Steck in that game, like, hey, if it's, and I should have known, like, if it's Steck's side, let Steck have the ball. He's going to get it 9 out of 10 times.
That's the problem. That's why Steck yelled at you, because he was worried about pumping his stats up, right? You weren't out of position. He was pissed because he didn't get the pick. Steck, I know you're listening to this. You know I'm right. You were mad because that was an opportunity to jack up your stats.
Hey, he would have
Case
had
in
one
point.
more on that stat list. He would have had one more had I not done that. So I know that for sure.
So Nate, so give me your all-star defensive team.
All right. Well,
And look, I'm going to say this because people do this, I think, because they think it's my podcast. There are guys way better than me that played safety, so I should not be your choice. So don't do it to be nice. Don't do
no.
it so I shouldn't be on there. So please exclude me because I know there are guys that played safety that are way better than me during our time.
All right. Well, I'm gonna pause real quick here. I have my wife's laptop and I need to go get the charger before it dies.
Oh, this is a first on the Surrounded by Brilliance podcast.
Yes.
We're mobile. Time to go mobile.
All right. I just gotta
Well,
grab
what
this.
what we're learning through this, if you're listening, if you're watching, is Derek's a good dad. Derek's great at his job. Derek was a hell
Yeah.
of a
Yeah.
defensive player for Tri-State. Derek is not. Derek gets pissed off at his neighbors, but Derek is not good at planning ahead, folks.
Preparing, right? I
Yeah.
thought I had plenty of battery. It was a full battery, but I guess
This is why Steck. This is why Steck gets mad at you, right?
yes. I would. I could. Well, yeah. He's not the only one that gets mad at me for this.
We're gonna leave this in. I think I'm gonna leave this in and not edit it out. And as we're sitting here
There you go.
talking, Kyle Chrisman's blowing my phone up. Hensel and Steck are blowing my phone up.
No kidding.
So Kyle, what's Kyle Chrisman? Kyle Chrisman seems to think, he said, it's great listening to all these defensive guys talk. You'd think someone from the offense would want to be on, question mark. Maybe Brad Peffley. Brad Peffley, if
Hey.
you're listening to this,
Yes.
I don't know if you are, but actually Steck and Hensel and I talked about that earlier today. So, Peff,
Yeah.
get
There you
on.
go.
I have a funny story I can think of right away about you. So, anyways, all right, name your team. Name your defensive
Hey.
team.
I mean, what's crazy? I'm not even going to pick myself. I mean, really. Otto and Jason. Holy shit. You know,
Hands down.
Jason Beans. God, I swear he was like 7 foot tall.
Yeah,
Um,
he's so good.
I remember walking on, and when I saw Otto and Jason, and I'm like, are they linebackers? No, they're safeties. And I'm like, I'm never gonna freaking play.
Yeah,
I am never gonna play.
exactly.
And then I find out, oh, they're seniors, and I'm like, there's a chance I can play. Not this year, but there's a chance. And like, yeah, Otto and Jason and you. I mean, I'm honestly so. You know, seeing Steck, you, Otto, and Jason, watching you guys for that first year and how you prepared. I mean, that's what got me. That's how I learned to prepare. And for me being at that point a redshirt freshman, had I not prepared like that, I mean, not saying I was good, but we were fundamentally we were so good.
Hmm.
Like I would have been a really big weak link. And but yeah, so like Jason, Otto, you, God, the linebackers. I'll never forget that first practice either. You know, Crispin, Ike, like at 172-pound safety in Indiana, I walked out to the field behind Ike and Crispin, and I was like, how am I supposed to play this game against guys like this?
Yeah.
Like, just, huge. Geely, Protzman just, God, he was scary. Yeah, he was he was just like Ike and Crispin, man. I don't think I've ever been that scared. Walking onto a team like, all right, maybe did I make the right decision to this? And then I'm like, oh, their defense, oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll have to go against them. I'm okay. Man, yeah, Hensel, Vanover, man, Schlegel.
Like,
God,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, I don't know who I'm missing, but man, like knee camp, yeah. Brent, um, and Mook. Yeah, I'm not gonna forget about Mook. Oh
Yeah.
man, yeah. I
Well,
mean,
we found Mook. We did find Mook. Steck sent me a
yeah.
text last night.
Oh, that's good.
He just he's still doing his thing. He just doesn't. He it sounds like he's cool with people not knowing where he's at. I guess I don't know.
Well, hey,
So
good
he
for
has
him.
no
Like,
desire.
hey,
What I'm saying is he has no desire to be on the podcast. I guess. But Kadir, if somehow you listen to this,
oh man,
I want to talk to you, and the guys from TSU would love to
hey,
hear from you. So,
I'd love to watch the podcast with him. Like, I haven't seen
oh my
him.
gosh,
Just, oh
Mook.
man, yeah. Like,
Yeah, dude.
but yeah,
I
no,
mean,
like that would be my list. Like, I would be what at that point I'd be fourth. You know, on the list of safeties at that point. So
yeah, we, it's to kind of sum it up, wrap it up, whatever. We had athletic players, and we just had like all those guys you mentioned. They're just good guys, right? So,
yeah,
while there was competition always going on, there was a willingness to help. Because I mean, I didn't start until my junior year, so because I played behind Jason for 2 years, but I learned so much from him, right?
yeah,
He was a tall, cornbread guy from St. Henry, same conference that I played in. I was a short guy. I mean, I was faster than Hart. I can say that, but
yeah,
he just knew the angles, right? So I
yep,
learned so much from him, just so much, and Otto too. And then Otto became our coach that one year. Remember, he
yep,
coached us the one year. So
yep,
yeah, it wasn't a. You see it now, and you hear about it from back then. Other guys that I know that played at other colleges are like, guys would be like, "No, this is my position. I'm not going to help you. I'm not
yeah,
concerned about you." So
yep.
it was cool. I enjoyed
No,
it.
I will say that was the one cool thing was I don't want to say. I mean, not that they were mean. I mean, but it's like they don't have to be nice, but they also were there to, hey, this is how you prepare. You know, you watch a video, you watch a lot of video. You go over all the plays that are we had everything printed out, from all their previous games. So it's like this is what you're looking for. All this stuff and sitting in on the meetings. And I mean, honestly, that first year, my redshirt year, I was able to travel with the team every away game, and I was up in the booth, so I got to I was on the headset as well, so I got to make the I was actually calling personnel to Coach Nemeth. That way he could pick what defense we were going to run, based on if it was two tight end set or single tight end, two running back, two receiver, whatever it was. But that was a huge learning process, and had I not had that, I don't think I don't think there would have been a chance that I would have played that very next year. It was so cool to be able to learn as much as I did from you three, not even just you three, Steck, Mook,
Yeah.
like all us DBs, like just being able to watch you guys and learn from you was huge for me. So I
Well, it
definitely
was.
didn't want to be I didn't like I said, I did not want to be the guy that ruined it for everyone. I was like, oh God, no, I'm not this freshman. I don't want to be the reason why we lose a game. Absolutely not. Like, and that was my thing. Like, all right, do anything and everything to not be, don't be the reason.
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting the different pressures you put on yourself and how you handle it, and then you step back now and you reflect on it. You're in your 40s and you're like, man, I was just a kid, and that's the
Yeah.
way I was thinking. That's how I was dealing with stress. And you're no doubt you're a better person, better human, better dad, better
Oh,
husband for it because
yeah.
you learned, you went through adversity, you dealt
Yep.
with it, you didn't tuck your head and run. Um, so like you know, I love all those experiences, but I can ultimately say, and I'm sure you'll agree, just those the discipline and the learning how to handle your business, that in and of itself
Oh, yeah.
was something that really helps you in life, right? Because
Absolutely.
now if I tell people I played college football, they're like, oh, what position? Were you kicker? Like, what did you do? Like,
Yep.
like so. But
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. Yeah. That man. Yeah. We were on such a. I mean, it was such a big jump from high school to that because of
yeah,
the schedule. Like like. I mean, I remember. Oh, Angola's already on their second cup of coffee at 5 o'clock in the morning from Coach Schoonmaker. We're
yeah,
doing sprints, and he's like, "Wake up! Angola's on their second cup of coffee," and I can never forget that, like that early in the morning. Yeah, Coach
yeah.
Schoon.
Well, we talked about it before on here. They like they tell you where to be, what time to be there, what to wear. I mean, you were. It wasn't the military, but it was so
No.
structured,
Yep.
and they, you weren't there. Everyone was running, and then you were running even more after that, and
Absolutely. That's why
so it was
that's why we were so good. I mean, like
discipline.
yeah, we had. I mean, we had athletes, but did we have the best athletes? No, but we were so structured and so disciplined that we didn't give up the long ball. We forced, in cover two, we forced them to throw. Hey, you're gonna have to go 5 yards at a time down the field, or you're gonna make a mistake. And most times they're gonna make a mistake, and as long as we capitalize, we were good, and we capitalized a shit ton on those mistakes. And we forced them to be perfect. And when you force an offense to be perfect,
Yeah,
you
not
know,
gonna happen.
it's not gonna be perfect. So, no,
Look, man, we're up against it. We're having some great conversation here. Hopefully, you'll agree to maybe be on again in the future if you have a willingness. I'm gonna try and try to get like multiple tri-state guys on. I've done it with a couple
heck
other
yeah.
buddies. It's not always the easiest, but I've found, boy, it can be real fun. So, but I want to tell you, I really appreciate you having a willingness to come on the podcast, to open up, to joke around, to have fun, to be serious, and really just to reconnect. I mean, you're only like 2 hours from me. So, you know, Hensel and Steck and I, and even Chrisman and Brandon, we're trying to figure something out for. We'd like to do something sooner, but at least for next summer. So to try and get a bunch of guys together, I was like, look, people can come here, because Steck's like, oh, come here, come there. I'm like, I'm kind of more of a central location because you got Michigan guys, you got Ohio guys. Like you and Hensel are kind of not. You're not terribly far from Hensel, I don't think.
Where's he at?
Lapeer, he's like Lapeer area.
I still not.
Maybe you're
I'm not.
northeast. I think you might be northeast of him, but
Yeah.
anyways,
Yeah.
uh, we'll figure something out and it'll be fun. But I
Heck yeah.
appreciate you, man. I appreciate your time, and I know we could probably talk for another 3 hours,
Yeah.
but I appreciate it, and let's not go another 22
22.
years.
Yes.
Maybe a couple weeks. I need to get your number from you, and then
Yeah. I'll shoot it to you.
big fan of the group text. So
Yes. Absolutely. Same, man. No. Thanks for having me on. Yeah. It's been a blast catching up, and I saw you just dropped Otto's. So I'm looking forward to watching that one tomorrow, and going back down memory lane again. So, again, yeah, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
all right, man. Appreciate you, brother. Take it easy, and thanks
All
everyone for
right, man.
listening.
Yep. Talk to you later.
Yep.
Get off my lawn. Don't turn around in my driveway. And don't drive slow if you're in the left lane. Scooby doo bop bop a deep a doop bop bop. Surrounded by brilliance.